just working on a 6-foot 550 paracord bullwhip. And this is a reverse build. So this is the first layer of hand plating. There's a dozen layers underneath this. So if you're interested in building whips, this layer is going to be about 3 feet long, and then the next layer will be 4.5 feet long, and the final layer will be 6 foot long. This is part of the whip building process that nobody gets to really see because nobody wants to sit in a room and sit and watch it. But I've been trying to share some of my stuff. It's just a different way of building a whip. This particular whip, the shop bag ends in this area, so this stiffens the area that has the shop bag. The next layer will come over the top of this. This is an additive build process, the reverse of what most people do. There's some advantages in either way to build, but this is how I go about doing some of the stuff I do. This is just a 12 plate first layer. And I'm just tensioning it. This is an over 3 under 3. Just a whip maker plate. And 550 or 650 paracord. This is coreless 650, but I don't think for most people they care to make a difference or have it known what the differences are. But it saves me a lot of time shucking to get it pressed flat as 650 cord. And I don't do a lot of 550 paracord whips, but on a 6-foot whip, it's kind of cool. Something that's this big will be a 20 plate or a 24 plate when I'm done in a 6-foot whip out of 550 paracord. So this particular whip is going to either Illinois or Indiana, I don't remember. I've got 4 other whips to get going on, but I thought I'd see how this one goes before I do the higher plate count, smaller whips I gotta get done. Probably out of frame. Sorry about that, guys. I can't see the screen and braid at the same time, so put a pin in it. Try and make sure I'm not out of frame. Hello from Romania. What's your tape for making videos? So this is a cell phone. I'm just using a cell phone currently. Let's see if I can get it to focus on the thing I want it to focus on. Yeah, I'm gonna have to read that bucket. Anyway. Got spools of leather. This whip isn't leather. Back the tripod up here a little bit. I'm running into myself. Of course, the tripod wants to tilt on me. That's okay. Try not to knock stuff over as I work. Yeah. Anyway. Nice part with 550 or 650 paracords, you can use straight pins to hold the strands when you need to adjust things. I'm only putting 25 pounds of tension or so in these strings. And I'll add tension as I go down the whip towards the hilt where you want more tension. But I do things a little bit different. So this whip will have 2 hand-laid bellies and an overlay when I'm done. This is belly number 1. It's not super exciting, but I'm trying to share more live, see what people think. It takes me a long time to sit and braid stuff because I'm not very fast. People who can braid a lot faster than I do. But I try and keep the tension exactly where I want it, and I braid vertically so I can watch the tension rotate instead of braiding in a vise. It has the advantage as you layer the tension, you can watch it as it, because each time you pull this, it pulls 1.5, 2 times the around the whip. So you're actually tightening up here more than right where you're braiding. So each of these strings is probably around 9 feet or 10 feet. I think I made the strings way too long, so I wasn't paying attention. But I'll measure the next set of strands. And of course, people are blowing my phone up, so I appreciate you guys tuning in, those that are interested in braiding and making whips and that type of thing. Yeah, not sure. Put a pin in it. Just going to tension it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Put a pin in it for a second. See what. Oh, it's just somebody telling me they want this web red and black. Find out what pattern they want. Let's see here. Oh. Where I want to put the camera and where the camera wants to go are two different things. Why is that fuzzy? I have to admit, I'm not the best cameraman. I can get more light, but I'm not sure. Let me. Hey. Hey, see it is. Well, hello there. I don't have a lot of subscribers, but I can always use a few more. I'm going to try and flip this around. And that way I can light it a little bit better and people can see a little bit better. I'm not the best cameraman, like I said. Try the camera a little bit. Sorry about that, guys. See any better from this side? Probably a little bit. Just try and get a little more light. Well, that looks a little bit better. Try not to breathe on the camera because on a good day my breathing's a little raspy. I appreciate you guys. I've been trying to do more of this streaming thing for people who are interested in the subject of braiding and making things. The world needs more makers. And rather than just sit and watch YouTube, I'd rather braid anyway, make whips. So I really kind of like the sound the cord makes running through my fingers too. This is just the first belly going in. Got a little bit of bindery work and things to do. It's a 6-foot bowl, carbon fiber handle, steel shot loaded. It's got about a 10-inch handle of carbon fiber. I think if people understood how long it takes to build something from scratch or design something from scratch, they'd appreciate the work that goes into it a little bit. I do this because I love it. I'll never get rich making whips, but it's enjoyable. It's about as much fun as anything else I've ever found. How many of you guys watching make your own whips? You can leave me a comment in there. I can see the screen occasionally here. How many if you want to make a whip. So we bumped up diameter, just check the back side. We're good. So right in here, there's a bump of about 1 millimeter in diameter, or maybe 1.5 millimeters. There's a bump here, and then it's pretty uniform all the way through the handle. This is the handle. It's got a little bit of flex to it. It's carbon fiber. It gives it, you can load it up and give it some zing. It's a very lightweight material, super strong. I use pultruded carbon fiber rod like you'd use for a drone as a handle material. Used to use steel. Still use steel shot, but pin in this for a second. I'm just going to tension it up, just snug these strands down. We're going to try and lift this whip up a little bit. So I've got a hook that's a braiding hook over here. And let's attach the other end of the whip. Got it over a tripod. See if I can. Need to, I like this format a lot, this vertical format, but it has some challenges. Cell phone on a tripod and one guy. So here we're getting close to 50 degrees. That's good because it creates more compression in the transition. So I'm not adding strands on this belly. I'm starting at 12 at 45 degrees, and it'll eventually end up at almost 60-degree angle. But it creates a lot of crunching force on the core. And I think way too much about this stuff, I'm sure. Checking the back side. So for those of you interested in building whips, 550 or 650 cord is about a millimeter thick after you take the paracord guts out if it's 550. And there's 2 layers on each side because it's braided, which makes it 4 millimeter each pass. So this will add 4 millimeters to the core. And the next pass will add 4 millimeters. And then the last pass will add 4 millimeters. For reference, a 1/4 inch is about 6.2 or something millimeters. So let's see if I can drop this down a little bit. Jeepers, it's bouncy. So I've got like 4 black with red whips to build, and 1 white with black whip to build. And I'll try and stream live with what I'm doing. This one happens to be a 6-foot 650 paracord or 550 paracord whip. So I got my work cut out for me for the next couple weeks. So I am not fast. My hands won't tolerate doing this 8 hours a day. I wish it would. But trying to get back into the rhythm of this because I got a matched pair that I'm building in parallel with this. It's a matched pair of 4-foot bowls. It may look like I'm jerking this. I'm not jerking. I'm pulling until it stops or seats and plating loosely. It's easier on my hands and trying to plate under a tremendous amount of tension. My hands are always beat up and chewed up and blistered. And part of that is this cord is rough on the fingers. I was breaking my thumbnail off and or cutting myself while I'm working with the leather. Try not to cut myself while I'm working with leather. I also do a limited amount of leather whips. I don't make a lot of supersonics out of leather. Hopefully I can get my brain to wrap around it. Get back to where I was 5 years ago with it. Anybody got any questions? About 2 feet in at this point. And the handle's right here. So you can see the diameter of the handle and the shop bag are pretty uniform. Double check, make sure you don't have any gaps. So right in this area, from right here for about 6 inches or so, I want this area to be more tensioned up and have more compression. So I'm going to increase the tension in this area. That way when I do a little bindery work later, I'll have a little more compression than the rest of the whip. You want to make sure you don't roll a strand. These hand shapes I'm using to do this helps you not accidentally roll a strand. Okay. My hands break for a minute. Let's see. As usual, people are texting and sending me messages. It's actually pretty hard to shoot video of black being braided on black, especially with a white background. And I've got to relight my shop turned on so you can see it, but the contrast is not as good as when I use two colors, which I'll use on the overlay. Now I'm onto the solid handle.
We're gonna run down to Mama Louise's. You wanna drive us?
When are you going?
Now. 5 minutes,
What time is it?
3:30. Do you have to go somewhere?
Yeah, I was gonna head someplace. No, because you don't want to go to over by the Tucson Mall.
Where were you going?
I was gonna go pick up a tool to work on webs.
You're gonna go buy a tool?
Yeah, a little tool.
Okay. And you're doing that today right now?
They were gonna text me when they get off work at 3:30. I was gonna go see it.
Okay.
So.
Well, when you get a minute, just come out and we'll figure it out.
Sure. I don't know about you guys, but when you're working on stuff, everybody wants your attention. It's kind of how this goes. Alrighty, thank you for hanging in there with me. I'll be back in a little bit. I've got to give my hands a break. It's getting to be late, and I've got to go run and pick up, look at a tool. I need to clean the lens on this thing. Yeah, I probably need to clean the lens or get the focus to stay focused. Anyway, so this is 12 plate, and it's coming down to the end of this carbon fiber handle. But the reason I like carbon fiber is it has some flexion. So I'll be back in a bit. Keep an eye out.